Another day, another transfer, and this time it is Fashion Sakala who leaves Scottish football. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football for your daily transfer roundup video. A bit of a quieter day today. I think a lot of the teams are still focusing on the Scottish Premiership. We just had match day 1 over the weekend, got match day 2 coming up this weekend. Then, of course, in between, we have some crucial European qualifiers, but there has been a couple of moves today, and the big one, of course, was Fashion Sakala. He completed his move to Saudi Arabian side Al Fahd. We all knew he was leaving Rangers. He announced it the other day, but now it is official. He is gone. I personally think it's a mistake. I think Rangers should have kept Fashion Sakala, but I guess they decided they didn't need him anymore after bringing in multiple attacking players. But I think Fashion Sakala definitely had a place at Rangers, and I think they could regret this definitely come the end of the season, because I think Fashion Sakala was one of their better options last season, and based on what I've seen so far, I don't really rate the new players, but it is early days. And speaking of the Glasgow sides, let's just get out there. Carl Starfelt still has not officially left, but he is going, and it looks like he will join Celta Vigo any time soon. But let's talk about a player that used to play in Glasgow, Kieran Tierney. Where is Kieran Tierney going to end up? Well, for a period, it was thought he was going to go back to Celtic. However, it looks like that deal isn't very realistic. Celtic don't really have the money in order to get him back, which I think we all understand. But one team that does have the money is Real Sociedad, and they have made an inquiry into Kieran Tierney, according to The Sun. Now, Real Sociedad just doesn't seem like a good move for Kieran Tierney. I think he is above Real Sociedad. Even if they are going to finish top 4, even if they're going to be in Champions League, I think Kieran Tierney is better than that. They're not a massive club, they're not one of the bigger clubs in Spain, even though over the last couple of seasons they have performed pretty well and they have managed to get into the European spots. Surely Kieran Tierney is above Real Sociedad. I know he's been linked to Newcastle. In the past, I would have said he's too good for Newcastle, but Newcastle are going places. Newcastle have money. Newcastle will be a dominant force soon enough. I just don't really see Real Sociedad ever doing much. So for me, I personally would not go to Real Sociedad. But here, Kieran Tierney can do what Kieran Tierney wants to do. It's entirely up to him. Speaking of a player, though, that will not be leaving Scottish football, Jan Danda will not leave Ross County before the end of the transfer window, insists manager Malky Mackay. So Jan Danda is in demand, and that's no surprise to me. He's probably the most technical gifted player that Ross County have. I think the Ross County side would definitely be a lot weaker without Jan Danda. However, Malky Mackay is not interested in losing him, and of course that shouldn't surprise anybody, because like I said, you take him out the Ross County side and it gets a hell of a lot weaker. So I think Jan Danda will be pivotal for Ross County if they're going to have a good season this year, and it is only fair that Malky Mackay doesn't want him to go anywhere, because I think you take him out the Ross County side and he could be in a bit of trouble. And finally, Manchester United have rejected a £30 million bid from West Ham for Scotland midfielder Scott McTominay. So there's been a lot of interest for Scott McTominay. It looks like he's not going to be part of Man United's future. However, Man United keep rejecting these big bids, and I do believe 30 million is a good bid for Scott McTominay. If Scott McTominay is worth 30 million, then John McGinn must be worth double that at least, because John McGinn is a much better player. So I'm a little bit surprised that Man United have been rejecting these offers. How much is it going to take to get Scott McTominay away from United? I'm not too sure, but apparently it's going to take more than 30 mil. Anyway, guys, that's it. Not a lot to talk about today, but Fashion Sakala does leave Rangers after, 2 years there? 2 years. Wasn't the best years. He did win a Scottish Cup, but he would have probably have wanted more. They were just up against a dominant Celtic side, though, and unfortunately for Fashion Sakala, they had a change of manager. They had Morelos and Kent not really doing much. He did have that great run to the European final, though, and he obviously can be proud of that. But I think he would have preferred, or maybe not prefer, but I think he would have definitely liked more trophies at his time at Rangers. But who knows, maybe he'll get trophies in Saudi Arabia, but we all know he's going for the cash and not the silverware. That's it, guys. Catch you in the next one. Until then, peace.